Mum, who hasn't been seen for 3 days. Victoria Taylor has been missing since Monday, and the search for her is intensified as a number of personal possessions were found. Well, let's take you through exactly what we know. So the last sighting of Victoria was here at a property in Malton in North Yorkshire just after 9 a.m. But this afternoon, police have released CCTV images of Victoria here. We're going to see them in a moment. That was at the BP garage on Welham Road in the Norton area of Malton. We should say police searches are ongoing and they're taking place here. That is near the River Derwent. Well, Daniel Rosney is there for us now. Daniel, what is the very latest on all this at the moment?
Well, that BP garage where Victoria was last seen is just around 300 metres or so away from where we are now. But police have also said that there has been an underwater search team in the River Derwent. This is the river that flows through Malton and Norton, although they haven't said a specific area that is a focus of that police presence, or if they're looking for something specific that may help them with their investigation. But this afternoon we did have a statement from North Yorkshire Police which says, "We are very concerned about Victoria's whereabouts, and like her family and friends, just want to see her safe and well." They're urging the public to be cautious if looking for Victoria near the river. They say they're officers of specialist training and equipment, and they are used to working in various terrains. Now, that last detail seems to be aimed at a group of volunteers who want to assist the police with the search. There was friends and neighbours who met at a pub earlier today, just up from where we are now. They walked along this riverbank, they were searching bushes, and ultimately they were trying to find something that the police might have missed because, Julian, they just want Victoria home safe and well.
And Daniel, what more do we know about Victoria Taylor from what police have told us?
Well, Victoria's a mum. She's got a little girl who's 2 years old. And as you can see from this CCTV picture that was released by police from the BP garage on Monday morning, she's around 5'6", she's 34. And she was last seen wearing blue jeans, a black Adidas original puffer jacket with those white stripes down the sleeves, and a grey Jack Wills hooded jumper. And she had been carrying a salmon-coloured or a pink Vans backpack. Now, police emphasise that this is still being treated as a missing persons case. They have had drones in the sky to get an understanding of the wider area of Malton and Norton. They say they have multiple inquiries ongoing, and that includes going through hours of CCTV footage from the area. Yesterday, there was a plea from Victoria's sister for her to get in touch. As you can imagine, they're emotional, they're distressed, and they're just waiting at home, wondering what's happened to their sisters.
Okay, what else have I got? Sorry, guys, I really wanted to hear that. So on the screen, you can see the map of the area. This is the rail. This is a railway crossing here. Hey, Sophie. Yeah, I am on YouTube at the moment. Just bringing awareness and stuff. Just trying to find that post from this morning that was admin related. Okay. So the family have requested that we share some facts related to Vic's disappearance. Before asking questions, please check this post to see if the answers are there. Please try to avoid sharing speculation. We all want the same thing, to find Vix and get her home. Thank you everyone for anything you have done so far and continue to do. It's appreciated beyond words. So Vix was wearing a black Adidas puffer jacket with stripes down the sides, not sleeves. The information was given at a time of distress. Let's not be picky. The cap and bag were retrieved with the pop bottles that were hers and her phone. She left her home address. The CCTV footage is her, and this has come from family and close friends that know her. The coat is black, not blue. It's pixelated from being taken from the screen. Try taking a picture of your TV. Yeah, I understand. She has not got on the train or bus, because if you look at the map, you can see what this river looks like. This river looks like the River Wire to me. It's very similar. It's twisty. It's bendy. You know, it's not like it's not a, you know, a massive left to right. It looks relatively, you know, probably as wide as the railway. To put it into context, a little bit wider maybe. Yeah, it's on my YouTube. I could have put my other one on here, but I can't deal with free screens at the moment. I'm not that expert enough to manage that. So I'm just sharing the information verbally. That's why I'm giving you descriptions like the river is probably as wide as the railway, and there's 2 railway tracks going up and obviously in and out. Yeah, you can't assume anything. And that's what I like about this group. It's kept to the point. You know, they don't want mediums and all that sort of stuff in there. They're keeping it to as factual as they can. Now, we have to appreciate that the river has swollen due to the weather. It's not a case of just sending a police officer in the water. It is specialised, and they are going to continue their search over the weekend. Drones have been used time and time again by police. Yes, they are heat-seeking, and specialist police team explained how it works. So your local Bobby isn't going to know. Well, they might if they've done some training on that, but you know, they may not know, so don't be shocked, basically. The media, we appreciate the help, but the family are trying to support each other and keep it together for the children. Please do not be knocking on the doors of the family. I mean, what in the world are we talking about when the media are knocking on the door? It's to me, it's like saying, well, you know, let's message the family as well. Let's not message the family. How about that? Let's not knock on the door of the family. So, actually, what come? Let me come out. I want to spin around. Spinning around. If you want to see me like absolutely rubbish on Google Maps, I'm just going for a little walk up and down this road like I'm virtually there. See that it's very well populated. It looks quite a busy area. And any route could have been taken. If there is any information to come out, they have said it's going to come via the police. I don't know why I come in here, really. It's the car park. Okay. Let's see where I've took myself, because I don't want to be... No, I don't want to do that, sorry. There's a roundabout. The veterinary clinic. This is the crossing. See, although there's like buildings at this juncture as well, it's still quite vast. And if you continue down this way, also, speculation doesn't help anyone, and if it seems an obvious question, then the family have already thought about it and probably already asked the police that question. Again, you know, it's like with everything, isn't it? We've got to not assume anything and not start making judgments without any proof of anything that's happened. So the update on Sky News today is that police are continuing their search for the weekend for a nurse and mum of two. So she was known in the community because she was a nurse, and a lot of people appreciated her for the work that she did with their family members, and this was in a care home that she was a nurse. Victoria was last seen at her home in Malton, and like I said, if you don't know the area, literally separating Malton and Norton is a railway. It's called The Search for Victoria Taylor. I don't think there's many groups. I'm in it on my After Dark profile. The sisters have spoken out and said that they do feel sick and distraught and lost. They have issued a statement, obviously thanking people for support and warning volunteers not to put themselves at risk if they are searching for their sibling. And obviously, I think at one point they were providing childcare for people to be able to go and help search with the volunteers. Obviously, you don't want to be taking children there. And they're just trying to maintain that sense of normality for her and the children. I mean, I can't... Having now seen the documentary as well, inside the life of what's going on for these people when this happens, it is an eye-opener, because they're just thinking, oh my God, each day is passing by. And those words that Paul said about, you know, we only had an hour of daylight left, that kind of thing, that sticks in your mind, doesn't it? Because like, when I see this, I'm thinking the same now. Like, God, these poor families now are thinking they've only got an hour, maybe two, of daylight and search time left. And then when they're trying to keep a sense of normality for the 2-year-old that's at home, and we heard how Paul was trying to keep a sense of normality, and that he didn't want to say anything because he wanted to bring Nicola home, and he really truly thought that's what he was going to do. And I can see as well, like in that case where he didn't want to believe the police, and people were digging in and looking and searching and finding stuff, and that takes him down this different path other than thinking she's gone in the river. And so you can see why, you know, people want the kind of help that they want, but it's when it goes from being sensible and helpful and putting information out and flashing through ideas and theories, because of course there's going to be theories, of course there's going to be information, but there's ways to talk about it in a respectful way, in a non-accusatory way. And if you don't have any evidence that even pinpoints to something, just don't say it. Even if you think it, don't say it. Hey, Tiny Trace. Yes, Rachel, this is Victoria Taylor. Sorry, I'm between YouTube and here. And the good thing is they put the information out, but they're putting pinpoint information, and it's not really gone beyond what's out there. The only thing I would say at this point is I think the police should do a press conference now, because that worked in the case of Gaynor. Yes, we were looking at the case, and yes, we were looking at every angle, but it was managed a lot better, and it gave people information. So at the moment, we're currently getting those snippets of information from the admin, who is obviously part of the search and everything going on. But I do think now is the time for the police to come out and hold a press conference, because at the moment, I feel like they're doing what they need to do, but not treating it as though this isn't like a national thing. And it is becoming a national thing. It needs to become a national thing. We need to talk about it, and we need updates, because this is where people will start now to make their own theories up. And this is where the police need to keep us updated, which is what Norfolk Constabulary did when they did their, covering Gaynor Lord. They kept things updated every day. But instead, we're just getting a news report on Sky News, and I kind of feel it needs to be more than that. I think it needs to be made more serious than that, so that there's more information being shared and put out there, just so that people are getting the update, because obviously we're getting it from that group, and the group is totally respectful. Like I said, I've been in there every day. There's no messing. I think they're being careful about what they're approving in terms of stuff, but I do think it would be handy now, because I think this needs to, the chances are, and I hate to say it, the chances are that there is stuff with the stuff by the river. She has had her bank card because she used it, I believe, at the garage to buy the drinks. The chances are that it's not looking great. And I think the police don't want to say, well, our working hypothesis is that she's gone into the river because of what that did last time. And so she is still a missing person. Now, it could be that they know some more information, like she's used her bank card or whatever. But obviously, if the bank card has been used, That's the kind of information where obviously the police will still search the river because that's where the belongings are. But it would kind of then be like, well, if the bank card's been used, other people can search in different areas. And that's what's making me think there is no, because they didn't say the bank card was in with her belongings. They just said the bag, the drink, and the phone and the cap. So it's possible that the bank card is in the bag, but just a bit more information is, I think the police need to bring it a bit more to the forefront. But who am I? Who am I? Yeah, you do have to think of the family, because it is their loved one that is missing. And obviously, you know, they want to find her, and obviously they don't want to think of the worst outcome. And the police are still, there's a difference between working thinking she's in the river and that she is still a missing person. They are two different things. So I think the police kind of just need to come out and update, even if it's every other day, just to keep like it'll put information on the news that people can watch. Because at the moment, Sky News are just posting photographs and then just putting an update. Obviously, you've got people like myself that are talking about it and sharing what we can see, because some people don't like to read through stuff. Do you know what I mean? They want to hear like they would on the news. And so I think that is valuable, because there's not many news people doing videos on this either. And I think there needs to be. I don't understand why. I mean, with Gaynor Lord, it took off again. And there was talk about it on the news. And there was videos. There was police updates. It was treated very high profile. But in this, it's kind of like somewhere in the middle at the moment. It's neither. They're not treating it like it's low profile, but they're not treating it in the same way that it's high profile. And we're talking about it. And the family are trying to share the information. Friends are trying to get people to talk about it, and they're doing a great job because it is slowly getting out there. Even the views on this case, when you post the videos, they're not like they were when it was Gaynor and when it was Nicola. Even though this is a very similar situation, although they are open that she is, or as of earlier, they were still saying she was missing. Hey, Clint. But yeah, we just got to be, it's always a learning curve with these things. I'm always learning. Like, I don't know everything. God, no, I don't. And do I get things wrong? Yeah, I do. Absolutely. Thank you, Clint. It's easy done. Sometimes we can get fueled in our emotions as well, especially when people come for, victims and families, or, we're trying to help and we're sharing this information. And it's in one sense share the information, and then in the next you get someone attack you for sharing the information, but they want you to share the information because the news really isn't. And the thing is, I'm looking for information because I actively know about it. I've had people in my comments on my TikTok saying they didn't know about this until I had posted about it and had been talking about it. So it wasn't widely known about. And it needs to be. It just needs to be, because, there is a chance that, I mean, I know they've said in the Facebook group she didn't get the train. She didn't get a taxi, or she's not been seen going out. But she could have walked from wherever she left her stuff. Those fields are very close to, like, you can walk across those fields and not be seen, and then turn up somewhere else and go from there. But the thing is, we go back to her stuff is by the river, and that is the area that they seem to be concentrating on their search. Thank you, Clint. It was just her hat, her salmon pink Vans bag, the phone. She did use a bank card, but we don't know. Thank you, Sophie. But we don't know if that is in the bag or not. I can't quite see what the situation is with the bank card. But they're putting in the news that she is still a missing person, but they are searching the river. So I kind of do feel now is the time for the police to kind of just come out and clarify some stuff. And do a video, like do a news press conference so it's a video so that people can watch it, because that's what people want to see, and the press can ask some press related questions. They're always pre-approved, like they're not just like hey, because the press are always in liaison with the police, as I've learned through stuff that they know more information than we do. And we get a certain amount of information from a press conference, but the press will still know more than we know. And that's just from what I've learned over covering a few of these cases and then watching some of these documentaries that come out where they interview journalists. And I think it was the Channel 5 Nicola Bulley documentary where they were saying, the journalist said, we had intelligence of this and this, but we can't say anything. And even when the press conference went out, there was stuff that we still knew that wasn't made available to the public. So there is stuff that they do know that we don't. But I do feel it would be a good move now for them to obviously put this out as a press conference now, just so that there's another bit of refreshed information. So it's not just us repeating what we're, able to pick up from this. It's not just us just talking. It is just another way to freshen up information that we can share. Thank you for the treasure box, Clint. If you want some treasure, the treasure box is there. I think a press conference will help, as in giving factual information, keeping the public up to date, but just making another, it's like it's just another fresh bit of information that is able to then be pushed out on the news, isn't it? Because at the moment, like with Sky and stuff, we had one video with Channel 5 3 days ago. They're out there, the media, but they haven't done any there's no other videos on their Facebook page. And so I just think a video with the police will just be a new bit of information, facts from the horse's mouth on the screen, so that we can show something else, and it just drops another bit of information and hopefully then attracts more people to follow and share the information, because that's what we want, isn't it? We want people to share the information and watch the information so they're getting the right information. But at the moment, it's kind of just like there's not much more to go on than what we have. Like, obviously, I go on Google Maps and stuff, and I'm not really good on Google Maps because, one, I always find I can't do what I want to do on the Google Maps. Oh, happy birthday, David. And there's another little treasure box up there. I always think it's just good, like with this, because you can do the walk, can't you, with the Google Maps? And I do like to try and do the walk, but I'm rubbish at it because I'm just rubbish at it. But I'll get better. This is the bridge in the area. See, it's a busy bridge. It's a busy area. But it's good for people that don't live in the area to see what it looks like. So as you can see to my left and right, if you're on YouTube, you can see the river. And you then go from Malton to Norton. And that's the crossing. But this seems to be the area that they are focusing on. We want to stay down here by the river, don't we? But the problem we've got, I just feel as well, if the police talk about stuff, it'll stop speculation as best as it can. And I feel that Norfolk Constabulary did that right. They did update people on a regular basis, and it kind of helped stop the speculation. Whereas and they did contact Lancashire Constabulary, because Lancashire Constabulary apparently learned from their mistakes and gave them some advice. So one of those would have been speak to the public. But again, I mean, they haven't cordoned the area off. There is people searching. So again, there's that whole, obviously, I personally don't think there's a crime taking place. I think it is as simple as that it is. But I guess sometimes you just got to be careful, haven't you, and at least keep an area protected. And somebody has said in my comments that there is an area near this crossing that has been closed off to the public, so they might be treating it more like in case there is a crime that they can go back to it. But I don't think there is. That's my personal. I just feel that. I do feel that. I don't want to say it, but I feel that this may not go well. But the main thing is just to find her, however that may be. And, you know, we have been known to be wrong. So I'm just walking down some of these streets because I want to show you what some of these are like. I feel like I got lost down here the other day. See, there's houses down here. Let's go back. But let me just show you again. I did show you on my other video kind of what the area looks like. But in all the pictures that I'm seeing on this Google Earth thing, there's people in them. Like it seems like it's a very bustly area. It looks really lovely too, and I've not ever been down there. I like the way that it's the two villages, one across the river, easy accessed, so you can get on your bike or walk across, and you're across in the other village. I think it's quite nice. This goes back to. Sorry, I'm looking at I'm not seeing all of the comments. Hi, Bex. Thank you for our treasure box, Clint. Clint's popped one up the top there. So let's go back across this river. Hi, Leanne. I feel like I'm walking literally into the traffic. So again, you can see here. I don't think it will take me down the path. I'd love it to, but I don't think it would. No, it's not going to. I really wish they would do that sometimes. I'm going to come out of here. And then, of course, so that's the golf garage, which I don't think that person commented on that. I don't know if that's what became the BP garage, because it is quite new, so I don't know how old this actually is. Let me I want to show you what it's like. Aerial view. Looks like a butterfly to me, that village from high up. Well, I'm assuming because they've found the belongings, the hat, the bag and the phone with the drinks bottle, that they've got them. And I'm assuming that they're going to be looking through their phone or her phone to see if there is anything. Hey, Kim. Katie J, it's a good question. I don't know, because I don't know. Obviously, we don't know why, for example, Nicola ended up in, or how she ended up in that river. We know she ended up, and it's been said it's an accident, but she's ended up in there. And it looks like the phone was put down and something has happened between that and her going in the river. Whereas Gaynor Lord took all her clothes off and put them by the river. That's a different scenario, because she took the clothes off to get into the river. And with this one, they've just been found by the river. So we don't know she's in the river because she's not been found, but they're looking in the river because obviously that's where the belongings are. And she may not be in the river, and she may have taken herself off. We don't know. But the thing is, if we knew that, we'd have a bit more of an insight, wouldn't we? But we just don't know why people do that, if they do that. Because obviously, like with Nicola, if she put her things down to sort something out and ended up in the river, that wasn't intentional. Gaynor's clothes came off, and although they say she went in and intended to come out, the coroner can't know that she intended to come out. And with all the other bits of information we know a little bit of, I either think she had a seizure in that water or she didn't intend to come out. So if she intended to come out, I think she may have had a seizure. But she did seem a little bit possibly confused in the days leading up. So we don't really know what's gone on. And obviously with this one, until we know more, we can't say. They're just by the river. She might not be in the river. And if she is in the river, why were they there? Because it's like that teacher in Norwich where Wicked, or near where Wicked lives, he was seen buying a drink in the shop and then he was found dead. And to me, I'm trying to work out in my mind, the only reason I can see why someone would buy a drink and then be found dead is if they took some stuff to unalive themselves. But you don't get that information afterwards. There might be an inquest and we might get some more information on that. But in a case with the river, I mean, Peter Fording has said that when women make that decision to do something, they've usually had a lot to drink and they usually have their makeup and, wear their clothes, nice clothes, which makes no sense to me. But I guess that's how they want to be. They want to be found in the best way. But with Gaynor, she took her clothes off, and I can't believe that. In my mind, it confuses me, because in my mind, I can't see that Gaynor would want to have been found naked. But who am I? I mean, I don't know. I literally, I don't know. It's a good question, is the answer. But that's as probably as. I mean, the other, obviously, if someone is unaliving themselves, they may not want to take their belongings in there. And there may be things in those items that are for family that we don't know about, or information in those messages or notes in the phone. Do you know what I mean? In the worst case scenario, that's the only reason that I could see. And obviously, I think we're just more attuned to these things now, the river and stuff, because I think maybe before, especially before Nicola Bulley, these things were probably happening before, but there was less emphasis on searching on and helping online and posting content about it. Whereas now it's a big thing. It's a big thing to do. People are doing it all the time. Things move with the time. Even, the mainstream medias and stuff have moved over to these types of platforms. Yeah, you'll have to go tomorrow, David, and then let us know how you get on, or keep us posted. Are you, Sarah? It's hard, isn't it? I see. The thing is, I've not heard rumours, right? I've heard people saying the usual. Where was the partner? That kind of thing. I'm just shutting those comments down because I'm not even going to go there. At the moment, we don't know anything about why or whatever. They haven't indicated anything. And to be honest, at this point, it's not our business as to why this is. Like, at the end of the day, she needs to be found. And then what's led up to that can be investigated. And it's being investigated by the police, I'm assuming, currently now. And you're always going to get people from the local area that might have known them or knows of them or has heard something, and then it just spirals out of control. But to be honest, I have to say, I haven't seen anything rumour based. And I also stay away from content creators that spread bullshit. Simple as that. So I won't see it if they are posting it, but it doesn't help. I know it doesn't help. But if one thing good has come from this, David is going to come and do some volunteering and help to search. He wants to come and help, so he's not, he's not too far from the area, that he can't get there. And so, if the live did nothing else today, that's brilliant. That's brilliant. But yeah, the family need to just, and the media knocking on the doors blows my mind, because at this point, the sisters have spoken. They don't need to speak anymore. I do feel the police need to do their bit and speak. That's who should speak on behalf of the family now, and then the family should just be left. And my advice would be to anyone that is family or knows the family or is a friend. Anyone on this app contacts you directly and says they're going to help you or they want information, do not give it to them. Direct them to that Facebook group where they can get the information, because those types of people don't want it for information. Okay, they want it to further their platform. They're not bothered about anything else other than trying to get to the story first or whatever. And then your information is often not private, because if those people get that information and then they decide that somehow somebody within that family dynamic is involved or whatever, that those messages will be shown all over the internet, and you just don't want that. Don't even speak to me. Not that I would ever contact anyone anyway, because as well, let's just put in the worst case scenario that something really bad has happened that eventually requires a court case. People that contact the family via message prior to a case closing. Now, if someone comes to me afterwards and says, hey, can I share my story or my family member's story? That's different. We'll talk about it and you can share the story because the case is closed. But prior to the case being closed, we shouldn't be interfering in anything that can condemn that. And I wouldn't want to be the person who fuck someone's court case up because I interfered by messaging family members and inserting myself where I do not belong. And the fact that then private messages are screenshot and sent everywhere once a creator turns on someone, and they do. Highly here in Australia, people do. And it's not worth it. You stick with the police, you stick with your friends who you can trust, and do not trust anyone on the app, at least until you're at the other side and people want to share the story. For example, like I said, I did a live to help promote a petition for a case that is old, it's closed, but the sister wanted a petition for her sister Sasha to try and change the laws on when victims' families can appeal a court's decision for sentencing. And we did that. And that's fine. I don't take issues with that, and I'll always help where I can. But when it comes to a live open case where we have no business, we don't have business, we're just people, right? We can't fix this. We don't have any powers. The police have more powers than we do. We don't have powers. Yeah, people can search IP addresses up and do a few little extra bits and pieces. Not that I would be that interested in doing that myself, because I'm not a police officer, and I'm not a detective, and we don't have those. We are just people. We are creators on this app, and that's it. And we should not interfere in that way. And I would hate for a breach of confidentiality that I've seen in other cases where messages have been read out online. I would hate that for anyone, for any family. I mean, no one wants their messages read out online, right? Even if it's just an ex-friend. Nothing worse. I think personal. Yeah, I've had a couple of people in some of my posts and I've just shut them down before they've even started. And if they're abusive, I mean, you're always going to get opinions on cases, always. You can't change that, you can't shut that down. Because people are going to talk about it. And the thing is, you want people to talk about it because you want it to go viral and be shared as far and wide as you can share it. But what comes with that is problems. But the way that the families can protect themselves is to not engage with those people, and just get someone to be shutting those comments off. And that group is quite a nice little group. It's one of the first that I've seen actually that have held it sensible. Let me just check my StreamYard. Okay. But yeah, so on my YouTube channel, you can see the map. It does look like a butterfly area to me. It does look like a really nice area, and it does bear the marks of other cases. Obviously, we can't deny that. But what we can do is just share this information and get this out there. And we've just got to hope that Victoria is found soon. Thank you for the follows, guys. Let me see if there's any more videos. Whatever that is. Let me just check Sky News. I always like to check just to make sure there's been no actual new updates or videos posted. I haven't. I really wish the police would just come out and do something to give the case something else so that we can share something else. I think it's important in cases that we always have something else to share, because that's what can keep the momentum going. And we want sensible stuff to share, not irresponsible stuff. And that's where the danger comes in, of people making stuff up in their head, and then spreading it online. And we don't want that. Let me just see if there's any other news clips on here. Somebody else has got to have done a video. Sorry, guys, on my YouTube. I don't think I've done too bad balancing the two together. Web sleuths. Web sleuths have posted. There's conversations going on there, but that's the type of place where stuff starts to get out of hand. That's just the image, I think. Yeah, no, that's just the image. I want a video. Okay, so the Daily Mail. Here we go. 5 unanswered questions as to the disappearance of Victoria Taylor, including why did she visit the garage and why was her social media active after her last sighting. So where have they got this information? And this is where the police need to do an update. The disappearance is out of character. Oh, what is this? Let me just swap screens for the YouTube. I meant adverts. Yeah, so they've got canoes on this river area. And on this river area, for those of you that can't see over here, there's like, it's like, what I'm looking at is the river, and then
Victoria Police have revealed they're on the hunt for hundreds of men as they ramp up.
you've got the river, and it looks like someone's cut something between that and the main land bit, and it's formed like a tiny little bit there. It's really weird. Let me go back. Victoria, so this is the Independent. Victoria's heartbroken fiance begs missing mum to come home after almost a week. The family of the mother said that they are sick and distraught and lost after the search for the 34-year-old nurse continues. She went missing from her home in Malton, North Yorkshire. Police have a number of personal possessions that were found close to the River Derwent. Her fiance Matthew Williams has pled for her return to the family and 2-year-old daughter. Speaking to the Times outside his home, Mr. Williams said, "Come home, babe. Come home to Nancy and be the mum that you know you are and can still be. She loved this Ben so much. I cannot reiterate how grateful I am for the effort from the local community. She is so amazing, and it breaks my heart that she is not there." See, the thing is as well, like, obviously people that she worked with potentially could be sort of dropping some stuff and talking. But again, it's never very helpful. North Yorkshire Police said extensive searches by officers and drones have been carried out, including the use of divers, and CCTV has still been released of her at the garage in the town on Monday. The force said Miss Taylor was last seen at 9 a.m. on Monday at her home. She's described as white. She's not 5'6", she's 5'2", and was last seen wearing blue jeans, a black Adidas original puffer with white stripes down the sides, and a Jack Wills hooded jumper, and she was carrying a salmon pink Vans backpack, which has been found. We currently feel sick and distraught and lost following. Yeah, it's really sad, isn't it? But I do think the police should talk a little bit, because obviously you're getting headlines now as well.
The fiancé of missing mother, Victoria Taylor, made a tearful plea today for her to return home. Victoria was last seen on Monday. Her belongings were later discovered discarded on the banks of the River Derwent, prompting a huge police search with divers scouring the area over the last week. As the search entered its 5th day, Matthew made a plea for the dedicated mother to come home. Clutching their daughter, he broke down in tears as he said, I hope she comes back safely. Obviously, her daughter is missing her mum. We are all hoping she comes back. She was dedicated to her job, dedicated to us, and we had just returned from a lovely holiday. It is just sad. Since then, with the weather and everything, I just want to be here for this one. I am just heartbroken for this one. I know Vicky wanted our daughter to have the best opportunities in life, the opportunities she never had. It breaks my heart. Cuddling his daughter, he sobbed. We live in hope, don't we, kid? She was such a good mother to this kid, and I hope she can be a good mother again. Victoria was last seen at her home at 9.
Okay, let me just scour through. Let me just end this on the YouTube. Right, guys, so here on the YouTube page, I'm going to end this now. As I get more updates, I will, of course, pop them on here, and I'll come back on when there's more information to share. Hopefully, we'll get a press conference soon, but for the purposes of YouTube, I'm going to end the stream now, and I will be back with more updates when I have them. I will speak to you guys on YouTube very, very soon. Bye, YouTube.